I'll get that in a minute. 'Cause I'm going to be talking a little bit before I play that.
Okay. So Donna Marsh is our next speaker. And she's talking about her journey to discovery, right? Ancient terracotta figurines. Enjoy.
Oh, don't applaud yet. You haven't heard anything. Oh, okay. Great introduction. Thank you. We're having some technical problems, so we may not be able to run the slide, but we'll just go with the flow. Whatever happens here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to give you, can we move it a little bit closer? Okay. All right.
That's as far as it's.
I'll lean into it.
What's that?
That's fine.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's
no,
perfect.
And then I moved it.
That's good. That's good. All right. I'm going to just go over a few rough notes that I've been taking that I did a week ago and again today because of these speakers that really relate to what I'm going to be presenting today. So it's going to be a little bit hodgepodge here, but I want to thank Virginia for talking about the labyrinth, and she brought up so many sacred sites. I didn't have enough room on my slides, but Serpent Mound is one of those sacred sites. I could write a book, but I'm really trying to narrow this picture show down to 8 minutes. I'm preparing to do a show or an exhibit in a small presentation up in the UP for the AAPS, the Ancient Artifact Preservation Society, which one of our gentlemen back here, Mr. Ray Menninger, I think that's how, close enough. He is very much affiliated with that group of people. They have discovered all kinds of archaeology through their archaeological digs in the UP and even lower Michigan, finding a lot of Egyptian art in pre-Columbian, lots of mounds that have been buried. They trace and track the copper trail from thousands of years ago from the UP already being mined and shipped to Egypt. So we have so much history that's been buried. And the whole thing of us getting together is to unearth the knowledge and who we are, where did we come from, and where the heck are we headed. So you're going to make a lot of ties. A lot of these speakers, it just connects all these dots. We all have pieces of knowledge along the way that we've learned. And today's the day. We need to come out. We need to start sharing our stories, because your story is going to connect with somebody else that was too afraid to talk to somebody about this weird stuff that's happening in their lives. So we just need to share our stories. I also want to thank Lisa for mentioning the different sacred sites and the different things that we do, the 13 crystal skulls. That was on my journey practicing skull work on the planet. I didn't have enough time to prepare this slideshow, being it's only 8 minutes, to show every picture and tell every story about every picture. So when I do play that, it will run for 8 minutes. I'm trying to get it targeted to go with my spiel that I've written up, so I can get it with the voice with the pictures in preparation of presenting up there in the UP. I did it last year. I took their last spot. It was called 6 in 60 minutes. So we each have, 6 of us have 9 minutes to say what we need to say. And that's the whole reason I was trying to put this together in a very limited time. But that's a good thing, because the main thing is you don't need to hear me and my stories. You need to witness and see this with your own eyes. Because when I show you in this little spiel how it's been validated by looking at ancient artifacts, ancient sites, petroglyphs, it does something in the brain and our body chemistry, not just the brain, our whole being. and it changes and opens our DNA. So let's see if I forgot anything. Oh, the ancient, or the AAPS that I just talked about in the UP, I do have some flyers on that. If you want to take a picture of it, I have 2 flyers that if you want to take a paper home with you, that's in October. It's about, I think it's about $200 to do the whole program, the 2 days. They have speakers from all over, researchers, archaeologists, and I'll be referring to one of them in my talk. But that's in October. If you take a picture of that. Pardon? It's October 4th through the 6th. It's in the UP, and the flyer's there with all the information on it. You're welcome to take a picture of it. Like I said, I have 2 hard copies. Welcome to that. And then we'll be opening for questions after my 8-minute spiel. And then we'll parade through, and artifacts are here on the corner of the table. Okay? So when I push play, I'm going to try to read through this without stumbling too bad. And we'll go with that. Want me to hit it? Okay.
Do whatever you just want to go.
Okay, I need to start right now because it's starting to run. Okay, my name is Donna Jean, and I will be sharing my journey to discovering an ancient terracotta artifact from the Ashmolean collection. I realize that most of us humans have figured out by now that we've been lied to about everything, including humanity's true history. I hope that by sharing my story to discovering this ancient terracotta collection will help you connect dots to our true history. In October 2010, Fred and I, my husband, traveled to Utah, Colorado, the Dakotas, where we took in many museums, artworks, petroglyphs, pictographs, while I was performing crystal sculpture, shamanic work. Then we spent the month of November in Orlando, Florida area. We took a day trip to Tavares, just 20 minutes from where we were staying. It was a Sunday, and the only business that was open was the Tavares Antique Mall on Main Street. I went into the store, and Spirit led me to a box with a glass lid and 7 figurines inside of it. They reminded me of the shape and size of the artistic petroglyphs we saw out west. So I purchased 4 of the figurines. Then I phoned my friend from Michigan. My friend was an artist and studied ancient Mesoamerica. The 2 of us had visited the Toledo Museum of Art earlier that summer for the Egyptian exhibit. She advised me to purchase the rest of the collection and contact the Toledo Museum of Art to validate them. I did go back to the antique mall to purchase the rest of the collection, including the box. When I contacted the museum, they put me in touch with Michael Ryan, Egyptologist specialist. After emailing him some photos of the figurines, including a shot of the bottom, I'm on target. He confirmed that the collection was the real thing, and he referred me to 3 websites: the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Israel Museum, and the Ashmolean Museum to validate the authenticity. This is a map, King's Highway, highlighted in green, that runs along the Euphrates River. It was also the path used to travel to and from Mari, or Mary in Egypt, for trade and commerce. The last update I got was August 8th in 2019 from the underground museum named Gourmet Museum. Excuse me. It is located in the Avanos district of Nesfir province. The museum is showcasing several 1,000-year-old figurines that are similar to this Ashmolean collection. They also provide hints about the accessory fashions that are assumed to be Mother Goddess figurines, which are unique to the Eastern Anatolia region. They bear the influence of mostly northern Syria and Mesopotamia, said archaeologist Berka Tussez. According to Nancy Redstar, the indigenous people like the Hopi, Cherokee, shamans, Native Americans, Mayans, Egyptian, Aztec hold the secret knowledge. They celebrate with dance, prayer, drum, practicing ceremony, honoring the traditions of their forefathers. They walk the sacred path of the true knowledge. They live their lives according to the original teachings of the very first ancestors. Their belief is that Red Man descended to earth from the Pleiades, known as star people. In the ancient days, the petroglyphs were created to foretell the future, the awakening. These writings were created as codes of secret history with ancient star people / astronauts. They believe that in the future, people programmed from the old times would encounter these glyphs, the symbols, and their genetic systems will awake. This is why the glyphs are important. They were created as safety nets that we left for ourselves many eons ago. We knew our cycle. We knew we were going to spend some time in the dark ages. We knew we were going to forget our divinity, who we really are. So we put these safety nets out for ourselves. In the Keys of Enoch, on page 297, 10 through 18, is a more scientific explanation. Enoch refers to the pictographs as light pictographs. Those anointed through divine pictograms would receive their knowledge through pictographs of light, so that their mind-body unity could be coded simultaneously on all levels of biochemical language at speeds faster than biological relay mechanisms of the hypothalamus. Thus, the pictographs are energized image shapes symbolizing the meeting of ideas which produce pictures and sound in material or mental language and activate the receptor cone of the eye to see objects on many levels of space in which man coexists. The pictographs work with the automatic control systems formed by the nervous system and brain, and by mechanical, electrical communication networks of human culture. I want to bring attention to this mystery symbol. It was advertised in the Ancient America magazine published by Wayne May's research that I found in the December 21st issue, as well as his presentation at the AAPF conference last year. According to May's research, the symbol is a Hebrew mix of Coptics, Christians, and Roman era. The symbol is translated into the letters YHW, which is the Jews' sacred name for Yahweh, the tree of life, as found in the Keys of Enoch. The symbol is also claimed by the Ojibwa of the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, by Dwayne Kinnert and the late Bruce Hardwick. I'm an ordinary woman. I'm way behind my deal, so I'm going to have to practice on the timing. I'm an ordinary woman having an extraordinary experience. I believe that my DNA was reconnected by the ancient safety nets. I do not believe these figurines are fertility goddesses. In my opinion, these clay figurines are depictions of years ago, the galactic family in the cosmos. I know this is some deep stuff. I believe that there's a lot of us light workers here that are ready to open our minds and grasp this knowledge. I truly hope that by sharing my experience will help others remember who they are, where we came from, and where are we going. That's the end of my so-called 8-minute spiel, and I will perfect that down to my pictures so they'll show up on the right time. But at this point, it can just roll. I did take it off a loop, but I don't know what's going on with Mercury retrograde. And
if you look at it, if you look at it,
eventually I'll tweak a lot of it.
Look at the picture. Tell us now.
Oh, right now?
Yes.
Oh, well, I can do that. Yeah, but I got to come out here. I can't see that swap.
a lot of those in Utah are the same exact ones that are in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these petroglyphs were, sorry. Forgot about that, taking that with me. Take my voice with me. We just traveled various places, the canyons. I did the crystal skull work on all of those places. I have mapped that out. I have a notebook this thick of every place I've done the work. And then to do the work in October and then come across this artifact in November when we were in Florida. So we were zipping. And then in Florida, this came to me. Spirit's real. Creator's real. And it's working through us. And we have to realize that. We have to become awake and realize we're the ones we've been waiting for. And get over our shaky voice, like I have, and share our stories. So this is the map. This is the map. And highlighted in green is that King's Highway where the ancient ones traveled. And they're not all that ancient. It's only a couple thousand years. But that would have been their trade. This is the museum that's underground that I just got in 2019 a validation that originally they were of the Bronze Age of the 2500 BC. Now they're 7000 BC and more. People through museums have not told us the whole story, calling them fertility goddesses to shut us up, bury them, go away. They kill people that have this stuff. I have not gone public. I have not gone on YouTube. I do this for our own safety. We know this is real. This is the truth. They will be very. This is Nancy Red Star's book. I have it here. And in there, I started to connect the dots. That script I read from the Hopi and the Egyptians in the safety net is in that book. That's Mesa Verde. Most people have visited, or a lot of people have visited. Another sacred site. This is a museum we came across in New Mexico that had human skulls, or what we would look like human skulls, of different varieties, different age types. So we've been here a long time, millions of years, not just a couple thousand. And there is life everywhere.
What do you do when you use the crystal skull? What are you doing?
It was a training I took in the Keys. We vacationed or wintered in Florida for 10, 11 years. And I became part of a spiritual group in Key West. And Michael Henry has come down to do lectures. I've done numerology lectures, and my last was a crystal skull training. And it's earthwork training. It's using crystal skulls, and you change energy. So what I did was release suffering souls, and I didn't know what I was doing. I took the training. I was guided. It was a calling. I did it. I don't know what I'm doing. And I would say that. I could feel the connection. I could feel the drive. I could not do it. I already made an agreement. I'll go. I made the agreement. That's another long story. But once you make that agreement with the Creator, you're going to hold your word. You're going to follow through. So I've been guided. And now I have to trust. And I'll tell you what, when I took that last spot in October on that 60 minutes, she says, we don't do repeats. I said, well, you got something new? And I said, yeah, I didn't. I didn't have one thing new. But I knew Spirit was going to lead me to what I needed to know. Only 2 weeks ago, I heard a podcaster refer to Keys of Enoch. So I pulled out my Keys of Enoch, and absolutely, there's a scientific way that can be described how that's related with our DNA and that cone in our eye and that thymus and our electrical magnetic and how the chemical language is inside of us. We didn't know all of this stuff, but that's how I was led to it. From a podcaster, I just put my faith out there. The universe will give us what we need. Be patient, and it shows up. Oh, that's the special mystery symbol that seems to be showing up everywhere. And it's in, hold up that book, Fred. No, not that one, the red one, there, the magazine. That's the magazine put out, what's it called? Ancient American. And the publisher of that is Wayne May. But he spoke about that symbol last year. Well, he spoke about it many times. By the time Donna catches up and connects the dots, oh my goodness. And then the Ojibwa, which ended up opening and closing at that conference up in the UP, claimed it when it was shown over in Europe someplace, France or someplace. And they were doing their tours and doing their, like this, gathering with their people. And they showed this symbol and they go, that's our symbol. That's in the UP, Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. That's our symbol. That's Ojibwa. Well, then you see how it's related through Enoch's work. It's all the same. That other last one, those last few was the Coral Castle. And that's where it started. After I left my Crystal Skull training, our path back home to Michigan, I thought, well, I'm going to stop at Crystal Castle and check that out. So I did Crystal Skull work right at Crystal Castle. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. My crystals are really small. The one I work with on land is really, really small, that big. And it's just a quartz crystal skull. And that one's, I have two. I use one for body work, and then my small one I can carry in my little medicine pouch. Nobody really has to know what I'm doing. I might do a few hand gestures, but it's all in my thought, my intent. And I may do, like I said, a few gestures with my hands because there's symbols in my head, and then you just do that with the earth. And then to release the suffering souls. We've been locked up. Our souls have been locked up here, and we've been prisoners of this mess we're in. But we are lifting, and we are coming out of it. In fact, I think we're already there. We're just trying to humanly get caught up. But it's already happened. We've already ascended, in my opinion. So anyway, we just keep sharing. The Petri discs, I don't know, just looking at them, even on the pictures, they're going to open your DNA. Looking at these, it helps to open your DNA because that's all like it was described in Keys of Enoch. It's all a chemical, biochemical thing that we have that happens automatically through our sight, sound, color. All of those things are tied together. I'm not a scientist. I know it happens. I don't know how.
There's that real tall one. What is just can't back it up probably.
No.
But I wonder what that was.
I've got a printout, and I can talk to you later about that.
Okay.
So if that's it,
Okay.
I would really love you to sign the registry book under the Sakkara date. I like to keep track of, how many, and if you would like to share where you're from, city or state, and if you would like a phone number or an email, once in a great while, if you wanted to have connection with any updates. One more thing, and the women that went before me, I think Lisa, she mentioned in her printout Blue Avian immediately after looking into Blue Avian. That's what they remind me of. They're bird-headed beings, but they have kind of a human look too. And they're on a pedestal more than, as you could see at the bottom view, with like a thumbprint up into that, like a pedestal. They had no legs or feet. So in previous talks, I kind of thought they hovered, they levitated. And so when we come into meeting our galactic family, don't be afraid. They're going to look different than us. You're going to feel, you're going to go by feeling more than what your eyes are telling you. You're going to, how does it make you feel when these beings show up? You're going to know if they're loving or not. You're going to know. And opening our DNA is even going to help you know these things quicker. You won't have to question. It'll be, I know this is a good one. I don't think there's going to be much of the evil left. I mean, it's just about gone. So I don't think we have to worry about that. I think our cosmic family is going to look different, but you're going to feel the love. You're going to feel the acceptance and the love. And they don't use the systems we're on. These systems we're on of rules and regulations, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and you got to read the sign and you got to stay with it. It's none of that. This is all something you've never experienced before, and they're going to look different. That's my thought. So, anything else? Questions? And if you don't have time to sign my book now, I'm going to take this stuff upstairs and find a little corner. If you want to ask questions, sign the book. Yes. Yeah, we'll go into lunch right after this. Well, let's walk through and you can see the objects up here. And I thank you for your time. And namaste. It's so good to be here. I knew we'd have some good speakers here. Thank you. I was so nervous. Nervous. And then I'm going to give you a hug. The technology. No, no. Then I'm getting